Good day, Tragic here, and welcome to my final thoughts for Covil, the Dark Overlord, and its various expansions. And, well, to be honest, I wasn't hugely impressed with this game. I felt that it was a little bit deterministic, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel like I had a lot of choice on my turns. I was doing the same thing almost every turn, and I really only had a single thing I could do. I couldn't see multiple options when my turn came around. And I've actually played this quite a few times with the base set and enjoyed it with other people. And I actually think the expansion, especially the Advanced Mercenaries, really hurts the game. It adds 2 extra rounds, and the game isn't complicated enough to warrant that extra time. It's like that extra time is just, it's like, you know, it sort of becomes not worth it when you've got that extra 2 rounds. And in addition, the super powerful mercenaries, they hit for so much, and there's so few blocking cards in this game that basically combat becomes completely trivialized. Your relics no longer matter, because it doesn't matter if you're producing 1 block when they're attacking for like 15 attack. So it's like, what's the point? So I would strongly recommend not using that expansion. I think it really hurts the game. And you could see it in this playthrough where it was just like every single attack was basically not able to be defended. The relic cards need to be rebalanced for those more difficult bosses. Like if they added more relic cards that have higher defense values to offset the higher attack values, it would make a lot more sense. But with the extra round and the imbalance in the combat, I think it was really hurtful to the game. Because I have played this a few times with other people, and you know, everyone's enjoyed it. It's light and quick, but it also, the mercenaries thing adds 2 extra rounds, which takes away the quickness. So, you know, when you're doing kind of, I haven't got much to do on my turn, but if it's only really fast game, then it doesn't really matter. And it is a fast game still. I mean, each of the videos uploaded is like 10 minutes long, and usually videos are much longer because I'm talking so much. So it's still a very quick, light, punchy game, and that's really good. I just don't like the expansion with the mercenaries. I'll play a few more times to get used to it, but it didn't impress me. I did really like the outposts. So the outposts are worth VPs at the end of the game, which is cool. Gives you an extra target, gives you a decision point. Do I target the minion that can do actions, or do I target the VPs and make them waste actions and turns to rebuild it? Now, it's interesting because money's VPs, right? So it costs a coin to build the turret. So it's really only worth 1 VP instead of 2, even though it counts as 2. Unless you get your coins back, obviously you can get your coins back. But allowing you to build away from your home base is really, really handy. Because that's one thing I did notice in the base game, is that if you get knocked off the board, it can take you a couple of turns to get back into a good position to earn gold from area control. And of course, there's not many turns. There's like 4 rounds in the normal game. So I thought that it was a really good addition. And I don't think I'll ever play without the little castles again. The dragons, I don't really have an opinion on the dragons. They were fine. There was nothing wrong with them, nothing cool about them, besides the fact that they're dragons, which is cool. So yeah, they'd be in there as well. And I really liked just the little in-game objectives with those little mystery cards that you reveal just to get an extra relic. I mean, in the long run, it doesn't really do much. It's not like you have to break your back to get those things resolved. They don't give you VPs or anything like that. They're just you know, extra way of getting relics. So that was cool. So all in all, the expansions are very good. Except I'm not particularly fond of the extra hard mercenaries that came with Chaotic Evil. Of course, Chaotic Evil comes with awesome new Dark Overlords and all this other stuff, so it's very worth getting. Just that aspect, I'm not quite sure about. Maybe I was playing it incorrectly, because another thing about those big monsters at the end is they're worth so much gold. They're so expensive to buy. So you're like, unless you plan your early turns accordingly, you might be in the position that, say, the yellow player was in, where you don't have enough money to buy any new troops in the end game, and you're completely locked out of the game then. So this game is a bit of a hit and miss for me. I think that it falls into that category of games like Art of War for me, for example, where it's so light, it doesn't really matter if it's good or not, right? Like, it's so light and so easy to play that it's just a nice friendly game you can play with your mates after a long game night, or maybe with non-gamers after dinner or something, where you don't have to pay too much attention. You're more about the company. And that's a good thing. And they're the type of situations I have played this game and enjoyed. It's got like a nice 80s cartoon motif, which is really cool for someone my age and my friends, so we can all reminisce about the awesome cartoons we watched when we were little tackers. So it's got some charming art, and it's interesting. I want to like this game more than I actually do. It'll be interesting to see how much play this gets once the initial cult of the new in our group dies down. So all in all, I think this is it's an okay game. It's not great. It's not bad. It feels a little mechanical, and that's my thoughts on this game. I think it could have been a lot more. I think the real problem with this game in my mind is the game board. Now, there's a number of different types of game boards. Maybe I need to try different ones, but I was expecting a much more interesting area control aspect from when I read the rules and stuff. And this is a great example of Kickstarter, where you buy a Kickstarter because you like the look of it without any idea of how it plays, and then you get it and you go, well, that's not really what I thought it was. So the area control aspect is nearly trivial. I mean, it wouldn't have taken much to completely remove it and turn it into a pure card game and really be almost exactly the same. Just by comparing strength values of the heroes, because the area control doesn't even count in the official rules for VPs at the end of the game. It's almost the only thing that board does is earn you gold and give you some positional data that makes some troops non-targetable from some other troops. And it's only 2 gold, which you can earn it's easier to earn gold by just attacking people than it is to move around the board, which takes up whole turns. So it's a bit of a mishmash, this game. I think that it doesn't really know exactly what it wants to be. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. It's been my first play for a while. The next one's going to come soon, and it's going to be that Mistborn game. So I will see you guys next time.